Welcome to our wizard today. We have one of the most unfair stories I have ever seen on this subreddit. Am I the butthole for moving back home after my husband left me even though I'm pregnant? I've been getting cruel messages from my ex, his family, and our friends for the past few days. My soon-to-be ex-husband Levi, 33 male, and I, 28 female, have been together for a decade, married for 5 years. I'm currently pregnant with our first baby, and due next month. After I graduated, I moved back to his hometown, a major city on the West Coast, with him. I'm from a bigger city in the Midwest, but loved living out there. I thought we were happy. We planned our baby, and were so excited. But a few weeks ago, he told me he was going to file for divorce. He said he didn't want to be tied down anymore. He was still young and needed to live his life, etc. He said there was nobody else, but I know since then he's been seeing someone. He wanted me to move out, but this is my house too. I put down the down payment even. So he's been staying with his friend Louis. I can't afford to live here on my own while maintaining my lifestyle. Sure, I could make it work, but it wouldn't be the kind of lifestyle I'd want to live, especially with a baby. I make really good money even, but it's so expensive. I have friends for sure, but not the support system he does. No family here. So I've decided to move back home. And luckily my company has a location in my hometown, so I was able to keep my job. My parents have been so supportive. They're divorced and hate one another, but are now combined in their hatred of Levi, which is interesting to see. They've secured me a nice rental home in my city and refused to let me pay them back, saying I need to save for buy my next house. They're paying for my divorce lawyer and my co-pays at my new doctor here. They're paying said I'm doing the right thing for my baby and are happy to help. My mom is about to retire and even wants to watch my baby while I work after my maternity leave. So it's been an ideal situation for me. Levi is furious. He's claiming that I moved to get back at him and I'm going to try to keep him out of our baby's life. I explained very clearly that I couldn't afford to be a single mom in San Diego, but he doesn't believe me. He's told everyone I moved back to get the upper hand on custody. That's not why I moved, but it's definitely a plus. His job doesn't have any locations here, and they won't keep him if he moves. He could get another job here, of course, but he says that's too much to ask of him. I told him I'd be going for child support once the baby is born, and he told me I needed to make up my mind. Could he be a dad or no? I told him he was going to be a dad regardless, and if he doesn't want to move here, then he would be a dad by paying child support. I don't think I'm the butthole. I think I'm doing what I have to do. But I don't know what I'm supposed to say to all these people texting and calling me and telling me I'm keeping Levi's baby from him. You are absolutely not the butthole here. Levi chose to leave you while pregnant, so of course you went where you have family and support. You're prioritizing your baby's well-being and stability, not trying to punish him. If he truly wants to be a dad, he can step up instead of blaming you. Am I the butthole for ruining my mom's marriage? My mom blames me for her husband filing for divorce. They got married when I, 17 female, was 10. He wanted kids, but mom couldn't have more, so he decided he would be fine being my dad. Only I never saw or accepted him as my dad. I had a dad, and he died. But he was still my dad, not someone who married my mom when I was 10. We got along okay. It disappointed him whenever I said no to him adopting me, or when I used his first name instead of calling him dad. He called me his daughter, and I hated it, but never said anything. So he kept calling me his, and I'd always correct people calling him my dad. I thought that would tell him nothing was changing on my side. But a few months ago for school, I did a project for art on my parents, and I did mom and dad. It wasn't supposed to be seen by anyone else, and didn't think it would turn into breakdown. But my teacher emailed it to my mom, and he saw it too. She was saying how talented I was, and she thought mom should encourage my art more. But seeing that was like the final straw for him. He told mom he couldn't live without being a parent, and he thought he could be mine, but I had never given him that chance. He said he wasn't going to wait around for me to maybe feel different at 40. He said being 51, he could still find a woman who'll give him kids of his own. And he left mom and filed for divorce. When he was going, he told me he hoped I'd regret rejecting him someday, because I had no idea how good I could have had it. Ever since my mom has blamed me, She told me I needed to make it up to him so he wouldn't go through with the divorce, but I told her I wasn't lying to get him back. She said he's been around almost as long as Dad was in my life, and he would have been around to see me get married and give my future kids a grandpa, and now there's nobody. She asked me who I'd call my father figure now. I told her I never called him my father figure, and it was always my grandpas who got the title. Mom said the fact I'd fight her after ruining her marriage showed how little I care about her. I told her I love her, and it's why I tried to get along with him. I told her it's not like I wanted someone else when Dad died, but I knew she did. So I accepted him into the household. But I would never let someone be my dad, so they'd be her husband. She claimed I was making excuses and should feel more shame for ruining such a good thing. Am I the butthole? First off, you are absolutely not the butthole. You had a dad you loved, and it's okay that you didn't want anyone else to take his place. Your stepdad wanted to be a parent, but it wasn't your job to make him happy. Decisions about marriage and divorce are for adults to make, not you. Your mom is upset, but it's unfair to blame you for their marriage ending. Am I the butthole for giving my husband an ultimatum? My husband has always been the most sweet and amazing guy, but recently he's been different. He hasn't had much patience. Seems a bit angry all the time. I've tried asking him what's wrong, but he won't talk to me like he normally would. It's been like this for 3 weeks now. Our daughter is 15. The other day, she went out with some friends, and before she left, my husband, who would usually just tell her to have a good time and be safe, got into an argument with her about how she's wasting time with her terrible friends. I asked him why he would say something like that, but he told me to forget. He told her she better not be late for her curfew in the most aggressive way I've ever heard him talk to her. When she finally comes home, it's 30 minutes past her curfew. He's waiting for her in the living room when she gets back. He starts lecturing her and she starts walking away from him. He goes behind her and grabs her arm and spins her around while yanking. He kept holding on and got in her face and started screaming at her and cussing her out. I had to push him off to get him to stop, and our daughter ran to her room crying. I then asked him if he had lost his useless mind. I told him if he doesn't want to tell me what's wrong, that he'll have to leave until he can behave. Am I going too far by forcing him to leave and giving him an ultimatum? Nothing like this has ever happened in our household before, and I don't even know what I'm feeling. I was literally shaking after it happened. I think you did the right thing by stepping in and protecting your daughter. No one should be physically threatened at home. His sudden aggression is a serious warning sign, and your feelings of fear and shaking are completely valid. Asking him to leave until he can behave is a necessary boundary to keep your family safe. Seeking professional help, like a therapist or counselor, can support both your family and him if he's willing to address his behavior. Am I the butthole for not wanting my daughter's party turned into a pregnancy announcement? Well, if anyone smelled smoke today, it was probably the dumpster fire that was my daughter's party. Firstly, father-in-law actually seemed to take the news pretty well. Surprisingly, mother-in-law was more angry that he waited so long to tell them. No scene was made. However, every conversation from that point forward was all about the baby and pregnancy, and how girlfriend told her parents, "Is there a name yet?" etc. Mother-in-law made a comment about how my husband and I can now give Bill and girlfriend all the baby stuff we're not using anymore. As an added bonus, brother-in-law also decided to use this opportunity to tell everyone him and his girlfriend are engaged. And they're planning a big move to relocate closer to her family and, I guess, us, before she's due. So on top of the baby questions, there was also conversations about wedding planning and house hunting. As another addition, my sister and her daughter came. Except my niece has an active staph infection and has been on antibiotics for 24 hours. But this wasn't mentioned to us until the party was almost over. It was assumed to not be a big deal because all open wounds were covered and she'd had 24 hours of antibiotics. My husband was furious and pulled me to the side to say some not nice things about it. After that, I shut down. I isolated myself, putting together my daughter's new toys. Everyone left pretty early, and everyone was feeling tense. I'm feeling upset and defeated, and now I have to monitor my 3 young kids for signs of a staph infection and try to sanitize my house. I think I'm done having parties for a while. Your feelings are completely valid. Your daughter's party should have been about her, not overshadowed by announcements and drama. Protecting your family's health with a contagious infection was the right choice. Taking a break from parties to focus on your kids and your own well-being is reasonable.